we're going to talk about discipline in late toddlers, which is ages 2 to 3 years. Children at this age are struggling for independence and mastery. This leads to frustrations. For example, if a child is playing with a puzzle and they throw it on the floor, they may just be frustrated. But as an adult, we may take it the wrong way and think that they're acting out. Also, another way to encourage independence is you can let a child play alone in their backyard. They're still supervised, but they feel that they're alone, so they can explore and become independent. Effective ways to discipline toddlers at this age is positive reinforcement, as well as redirecting and reassurance. Let the child know that they can follow directions, verbal instructions, and explanations. You can also sit them out at this time and establish rules. Make sure that they know the rules and follow through with them every time. And now I'm going to show you guys another video.
What's the most appropriate way to discipline a toddler? There's actually a book out called 1, 2, 3 Magic, which I would recommend. It's really a funny book to read, and I think you would get a lot out of that book. I think with a toddler, you have to be pretty firm with them, and I think that this is a good time to start using logical consequences. So for instance, if you have a toddler that's riding a trike and the rule is that you need to wear a helmet when you ride your trike, then you've set that rule up. The toddler knows, yes, that's what I need to do, but then say he chooses not to wear his helmet. A logical consequence to that would be, guess what, we get to take your bike away for 5 minutes until you can decide to put your helmet back on, and then always give them a chance to try again. So they know that in 5 minutes, if you set a timer for 5 minutes, they know that in 5 minutes they're going to have a chance to try putting their helmet on and riding their trike again. I think that giving that logical consequence sets them up for dealing with future problems, because that's how life is. When we speed on the freeway, we get a ticket. So teaching your kid about logical consequences, I think, is really important. If there isn't really a logical consequence to the behavior, then I recommend a timeout. A timeout is not putting them in their bed, because that's where they sleep, and that needs to be comfortable. It's not having them face the corner in shame. It's having them sit on a chair in a very boring corner, and you set the timer for 1 minute per year of age. So if you have a 3-year-old, that would be 3 minutes. So it's not you putting the child in timeout, it's really the timer. And then they know that there's a finite time that they're going to be in there. It encourages them to have good behavior a little bit sooner, because they know the timer is going to come off, they're going to come out, they're going to have a chance to try again. If it's you putting them on timeout, they're wondering, when do I get to come out, and will I ever get out of here? So that's not very encouraging. So I do really recommend a timer for using timeout. So I think when a child comes out of timeout, it's a good time to talk about what happened. So you'll want to relate the incident to the emotion, so they can start talking about how they felt about it. So it looks like you got pretty angry that Susie wouldn't share her doll with you. That helps them later on say, yeah, it really made me angry that Susie wouldn't share my doll. Instead of having a temper tantrum or hitting Susie, it gives them a chance to use their words and begin to manage their own anger. I think stating the child's emotion for them, because they may not understand what that is, having a good vocabulary for yourself, different emotions like anger or upset or frustration, get your dictionary out, look up what different words are for emotions. So having that good vocabulary is good, because it really helps children relate to, oh yes, that is how I felt, and I can state that, and it makes me feel better when I state how I felt, and it also helps me think about what I might do differently next time. I don't usually start timeout till age 2, and that's about the earliest that I would start timeout or start having those conversations.
All right. And now let's discuss this video a little bit. What did the person in this video say about timeout? How should one handle timeout?
That you should set a timer for 1 minute for every year of age. So if they're 3 years old, set a timer for 3 minutes, so they know that you know, in 3 minutes I'll be able to come out instead of, you know, wondering if they're ever going to come out or when they're going to come out. So then, and she said that the timer actually puts them in timeout instead of you doing it. So
You don't feel like the bad guy?
Yeah.
Exactly. Does anybody else have any comments? No? I think that in this video, it said that, you know, you should be firm with the child. Definitely use logical consequences. Make sure that you set the consequences for the action and that the child knows the consequences of their actions. So then they still have a choice. If they can either choose not to do it and they can have a consequence, or they can follow directions with no consequence.